Fellas, so this time around I'm going to talk about the Chase Sapphire Reserve credit card. In the past I've also covered the Platinum Venture X card, sorry, the American Express and the Venture X card, both by, well, the first one is by American Express and the second one is by Capital One. And so this time around I want to cover the Chase Sapphire Reserved, and towards the end I'm going to compare all three credit cards against each other to see what is the perfect one for our wallets. And keep in mind, this is all based. We should make all decisions based on our personal interests, usage, and uh, credit card fee tolerance. We do know some of these cards are pretty excessive, but of course it can be easily accounted for or covered when we are using a credit card. Uh, Using its benefits to our advantage, right? So, with that said, I do also want to say that do want to remind my audience who is this channel for. This channel is basically, from now on, it's going to cover financial topics for the ultimate goal of every gamer out there to be at least more financially uh, uh, in the know of the tools that are available to us, whether it be credit cards, car insurance, which I'm going to cover soon, uh, loans, specifically student loans, subsidized and unsubsidized, who to go with, who not to go with, for those who need to take out a loan for their higher eds, and of course other financial topics that I've yet to cover in the channel. But essentially, if you are a gamer, as you can tell in the background, I am a gamer too, and you want to be financially sound and well off in the future, then please go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and I will pretty much cover those topics in the near future. What I have covered is these credit cards that I just mentioned already, and certain stocks. Pretty much, I pick a stock at random and I weigh the pros and cons and evaluate to see if it's a stock that should be in our portfolios. But yeah, without further ado, I do want to cover already the Chase Sapphire card and pretty much ask the question and then answer towards the end, is it worth it for our wallets? So, I do want to break down the benefits, perks, and drawbacks of this card. Uh, and of course, towards the end, I'm going to compare it to the Metro X and the American Platinum card. So, us can judge which premium card fits our lifestyle. So our first section is the obvious one, the annual fee and the welcome bonus. So the annual fee is at 550. It's pretty tough, it's pretty huge, but of course it can be outweighed with the benefits that we can get, which I will cover very shortly. Uh, Within as soon as you apply for the card and get approved, you will be charged 550, and then on top of that, you also get hit with a welcome offer. So the welcome offer at base I've seen is at 60,000 bonus points after spending 4K in the first 3 months, and this amount of points is worth north of $900 in the Chase Travel Portal. So in short, the steep fee is well, steep, but the bonus easily offsets it in the first year. So on to the second section, which is travel credits and earning rates. So the card generously gives you a $300 annual travel credit. That and just by using this alone, effectively brings down the annual fee to 250. Uh, and I do want to mention that this amount of travel fee is uh, up to par with the Venture X credit card. Both cards give you $300 annual travel fee or annual travel credit. So now earning points. The credit card gives you 10x on hotel and car rentals through the Chase Travel. Also gives you 5 times back on flights booked through the Chase Travel portal. And for food or dining and travel, not groceries, dining and travel, gives you 3 times back on those types of purchases. Everything else is 1 times back, which is whack. Um, I do know that the Venture X gives you 2 times back on everything else, but more on that later. In summary, This card is for travelers and foodies. The points will rack up quickly for them. So on to the travel protections and insurance that this card gives. I think this is where the credit card really shines. So the first point I want to mention is the trip cancellation interruption. So for it's around $10,000 per person, $20,000 per trip. Excuse me. So as an example, say you have to cancel a Hawaii trip, a Hawaii trip that costs $3,000. The credit card reimburse you. Let's say as long as it's below 20,000, right? The trip, and assuming that it's only one person going. The second point, the second type of insurance the card covers is primary rental car insurance. It covers damages and theft directly. So an example could be is that say you have a rental accident in Italy, so there's no need for your own policy to kick in. Of course, you're gonna have to read into what specifically and how much the credit card covers. I do know for the Venture X is up to 75,000 just for the vehicle alone. Doesn't cover damages towards the other vehicles that are involved in the accident. So the third insurance that the card gives you is trip delay reimbursement. So it's $500 per ticket for up to 6-hour delays. So as an example, so you say you have an overnight flight delay, the hotels and meals will be covered. Baggage delay is also another insurance that the card provides. It's up to $100 a day, up to 5 days. So essentially, if you lose a suitcase, you are able to buy essentials and be reimbursed. And the last insurance is travel accident insurances. So it's up to $1 million coverage. Of course, a little bit investigation needs to be done on the user's part to ensure that they qualify and they are able to reap the rewards. But I'm sure that we are now all aware of certain benefits that are available to us. Now it's up to us to be able to know how to apply them in certain situations in our lives. Right. So essentially, the Sapphire Reserve card, it provides insurance that gives travelers a serious peace of mind while abroad. So the next section is perks and lifestyle benefits. The card does give priority pass access to it provides access to lounges to I believe priority pass has around 1.3k lounges worldwide, so that's something to take advantage. Uh, the second benefit that you get is a global entry and TSA pre-check. Credit every 4 years. I do know that global entry is for 5 years, maybe 2 years. I forget which one, because I have global entry. It covers TSA pre-check already, but I forget how often is the renewal. Uh, a third benefit that the card gives you is uh, the Lyft Pink. Um, I guess it's a premium service that Lyft offers, and DoorDash passes. But these are for a limited time. Use it while you can. And these pretty much are the luxuries and add-ons to make travel a little bit more comfortable and convenient. So the next section is I want to cover the big drawback that many card users are wary of. It's basically the annual fee. It's at 550. You also need a good and excellent-ish credit needed. You should be above 722 to even be considered. Uh, to yeah, pretty much to be considered by Chase. And this card is basically for frequent travelers. So occasional users won't fully maximize all the benefits that this card provides. So it's a great card if you actually use it, but it's overkill otherwise. So on to the comparisons. To be honest, I'm more interested in knowing how well the Sapphire Reserve card compares to the Venture X and the Platinum. So first, let's start with the Capital One Venture X against the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Venture X has a lower annual fee at 395 as opposed to 150. the Venture X has also 300 travel credit too that I mentioned earlier. The Venture X card also gives a 10,000 point anniversary miles every year. It's basically making the card cost us around $95 dollars a year, right? But oops, sorry, yeah, 300 on top of 10,000 points. It's effectively $400. Um, so that leaves the card to be $5 on the upside. Of course, you should only spend um, uh, we should only spend or use the card uh, in a very savvy way in order to pretty much not let the card go through our heads. Right, that's the last thing that we want. Uh, anyways, the one thing that the Sapphire Reserve card beats the Venture X in is the shower protections such as AAA's, cancellation, and baggage. Venture X, to my knowledge, doesn't have as many shower protections as opposed to the Sapphire Reserve, so that's something to keep in mind. So now comparing Platinum X or Platinum against the Sapphire Reserve. So the Platinum is very luxury focused with tons of credit, like credit to airline, Uber, digital entertainment, but many are tricky to fully use. You will only benefit if you already subscribe to some of these services so that the Platinum can kick in. A good one that comes to mind is the Equinox, right? $300 credit every year, but you also need to you will only need it if you had a subscription to begin with, right? Let's see. The American Express Platinum card also dominates in lounge access. Of course, they have the Centurion lounges and Priority Pass, while the Sapphire Reserve is only limited to Priority Pass. So, the Reserve is also more practical for everyday dining and travel spend. The Platinum is better if you maximize lifestyle credits and you love premium lounges. So in summary, the Reserve is a bit more, it's a bit balanced. It's much easier to use than an MX Platinum and a lot stronger for protections as opposed to the Venture X. So in conclusion, the Reserve is packs value into rewards, protections, and perks, but it shines most for frequent travelers. So if you want to balance between premium perks and practical travel protections, the Sapphire Reserve, it could be a fit for you. Note, if you are a frequent traveler, then this card paid for itself. If not, Sapphire preferred or the Venture X might be a smarter alternative for you. So that's essentially the last commentary I want to make in regards to the Sapphire Reserve card. Do want to make note that I kind of enjoyed doing some research into these cards. Kind of learned something a bit. Me personally, I don't have the Reserve, I don't have the Platinum, but I do have the Venture X, and I've used it pretty much since I think about 2 years now, and I like the card. I've used it. I think it's the only travel card that I will continue to use until other responsibilities, I guess, prevent me from traveling abroad anymore, or even local travels within the US. But I liked my experience with the Venture X. Others have liked their experiences with the Platinum and the Reserve card, despite the steep annual fee. I just hope that the annual fee for the Venture X doesn't get more expensive. Eventually, however, I may want to look into either downgrading into a different card, the Venture X, but as of right now, I am comfortable using the Venture X for my international travels and for kind of daily use, but more on that
Right down.
later.
2 X-rays down.
Copy. Make sure this floor's secure. Clear this floor. Secure the floor.
First floor secure.
All